Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Soy, your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Good morning, good morning. How y'all doing? How y'all doing in the cafe? Are you ready for some hot and steamy conversation this morning? What you drinking on? What you sipping on? Caramel macchiato? That's my favorite beverage right there. That's how I get my day started. Hot and steamy.
My mother and I had a fantastic relationship.
This is Steven, and I just wanted to share.
You should always be in a place where you're celebrated. Life is too short to stay somewhere and tolerate it.
If you cannot help a person, don't hurt them, especially with women.
Soy's just whole essence is to bring out the best in other people.
Something that touches other people, and that's what your show does. It's not just conversation as you started. It actually has a purpose.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday, y'all, and welcome to Coffee Talk with Soy, your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday at 10 a.m. It's your girl Soy bringing you stimulating conversation to the Brew Nation. It's always a joyous occasion here in the cafe. Think on it, drink on it, let's talk now. If soy means I am, therefore you are bold, beautiful, intelligent, amazing, and leaving your insecurities and inabilities to be tested, then rested while you have real talk. Welcome to the cafe where you can come in and unapologetically be you.
Wake up, wake up. You've got the power. You've got my people in the East, yo, you gotta wake up. Midwest, dirty South, yo, you gotta stand up. All my homies in the West, yo, you gotta wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, yes, and enjoying your new morning show. I hope you have your favorite morning beverage in hand and you're ready for real talk, real topics. Our show today is inspired by, a few months ago, last month, it was Women's History Month. We recognizing women. And we do that quite frequently on this show. We recognize women. We want to empower women. It's not just a women's-based show. We talk about things that affect how we live, how we live and how we deal with things through our lives. And so this show is really designed to offer insight, offer support, offer assistance, and share platforms for those individuals who have either experienced a situation that they need to share or have a product to sell or service to provide that impact how we live. And so today I'm excited about this topic because as I reflect on it, let me just say, there are so many women of different sizes, caliber, stance, build, single, married, divorced, widowed, that have encountered a loss. And not just a loss, but a setback. I'm talking about a setback that make you question who you are and everything that's happened to you in your life. And in that very moment, it seems like hours or days or years, right? Some of us are still sitting in that setback, right? But some of us are still trying to come back from that setback. Trust me, I know. I've had my own setbacks, and I'm probably sitting in one right now because life is about moving. It's about progress, right? But I've had my setbacks as well. Oh, baby, I'm too. Yes. But you see, the setback ain't got no name on it. So I don't care where you live or how much money you make or how many kids you have or don't have or never had. The setback has no name on it. They're like bullets flying in the air, right? Because life just happens. You can be on your very way, minding your own very business, not bothering nobody, and bam, something happens to impact your life. And sometimes through no fault of your own. Sometimes you just was dealt a bad hand. But how do you come back from that? How do you deal with that? You can be dedicated, determined, and different. And not different from her as another woman. Not to compare you with anyone. And we should never do that. But different compared to you. That you of yesterday. The you of 5 minutes ago. The you walking around still in grief about things that you have no control over. The you that ain't happy about what you have because you're too busy focused on what other people have, or what she got, or what he got, or what he did to you, or what he doing. The you, that old you that you need to put behind you. Yeah, that you. That's who I'm talking about. That you. You want to be dedicated, determined, and different from that you. Yeah, tell her to get gone. Tell her to kick rocks. You don't need her no more. You don't need her no more. You don't need to feel sorry for yourself. Not at all. And you don't need to belittle or doubt yourself either. You don't need to torture yourself verbally or emotionally. Abuse yourself. As bad as it may seem or feel like, you are a diamond in the rough. You are the queen. And I have some queens in this cafe that have some information and messages to share with you about how they have been dedicated, determined, and now different from that old her. The first her that I want to share with you in the cafe is none other than Miss Madam Tiffany Burney. She's a mother of 4 and a grandmother, in which she affectionately calls herself Honey. Honey, yes, Honey, who now lives in Atlanta, but originally she's not from Atlanta, but she's here to tell you where she's from, about her childhood. Now I want y'all to listen to Miss Tiffany Burney and peep into her window as she tells you her teenage life up until the time she moved here to Atlanta. Good morning, Miss T. Welcome to the cafe. How are you, dear? How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you all this morning. Thank you for having me once again.
I always enjoy talking to you on and off the air. She's a good friend, and she inspires me, and we hold each other accountable and keep pushing each other. That's what good friends do. So thank you for hanging out with me this morning.
I'm going to just give you a snippet of my early childhood and try to just give some context to who I am today and my background. I am the daughter of a single parent mother who raised 3 children with the help of my grandparents, whom were my primary caregivers for most of my teenage years. I lost a brother at the age of 18 due to a violent act of crime, witnessed drug abuse, my mother being physically abused. She is a survivor of domestic violence. My mother has had her eye socket reconstructed. She's had a partial hysterectomy, and she survived a gunshot wound due to domestic violence. So this was my childhood growing up, seeing a lot of the things that children should not witness, but unfortunately, in most cases, kids grow up with a lot of baggage that they come to school with every day. And so I am that child in the lower social economic neighborhood who did not have 2 parents. But thankfully, I had grandparents who cared enough to step in. But at the age of 13, I lost my grandmother. So I was forced to live with my mother full time. And by the age of 15, I was pregnant with my first child. And then by the age of 23, I had 4 children. They're everything to me. And so I, for some time, did have to raise them by myself as well. They've had a wonderful, wonderful father and stepfather in their life, but unfortunately things happened, and I ended up being a single parent as well. And so the road has not been easy. It is not paved with gold. And I often tell people that life is about storms. And so you're either in a storm, coming out of storm, or you're going in a storm. And it just matters as to how you handle that storm is what makes you on the other end. How do you come out of it? How do you come out of it, and how do you prepare to go into the next storm? So life is not easy all the time. It's not rose petals. So you have to learn how to manage your emotion, manage your feelings, just manage a whole host of things in your life to be able to make it through. And I don't think my story is very unique. I think the unique part about it is just making it out and making it to the point that I'm at now, which we'll um, discuss some of that later. But my childhood definitely was not an easy one. And one of the things I did want to work so hard at overcoming was the teenage pregnancy. My mother was a teenage mother. I was a teenage mother. Her oldest sister was a teenage mother. My two girls are not teenage mothers. So I was very proud of myself being able to overcome that as well in life. So.
Well, thank you, Tiffany, for sharing that. And she has a lot more things to be proud of, and we're going to share some of that when we come back. But now I want to introduce you to another amazing queen in the cafe with us. This is Dionne Pinkett.
Hello,
Is
hello.
hello there. Miss Dionne is the mother of three. She is a sister and an amazing tribe global leader in education, special education advocate as well. She's a community builder, a believer in the ability to change your outlook. She says her motto is manifesting and deciding and acting.
Yes,
So Dionne is here to share some information with us. And I asked her to share the components of her life where she, Tiffany left off about entering into the early 20 stages of her life. So Dionne is here to share some of her early adulthood experiences. So Dionne, please.
All right. Well, I'm Dionne Pinkett. I am original from Atlanta, Georgia, and yes, we are full. So no one else needs to come in. But yes, I'm a mother of three. I had my first daughter my last year of college, and my focus at that time was to start my career. But unfortunately, being a single mother, I had to readjust my focus. During those times, I made poor decisions. As you look back on those things to get me started on to my life, those decisions have really made me who I am today. I did struggle, and I have moved around a lot during those times where I was not able to get a respectable footing in my life. Shortly after, I got married, had another child, and I found myself in a situation where I was unhappy for several different reasons. And as much as I tried to work on ensuring that I kept my family together, keeping my children with their father, I was beginning to lose myself. And in that process, I started self-reflecting on what I truly wanted to do in my life. And through that verbal abuse and financial abuse, I found that I was becoming someone I did not want to be, and someone I didn't want to look in the mirror at in the morning. And, I had people around me, surrounding me, asking me to push through and make it work. It's no one out there for you. But I knew with my faith that it was something more for me. So I made the decision to move abroad. And I moved abroad as a educational leader, as a principal with my children. And I went on that journey with my children by myself to find who I was as a person. In the midst of that, only 90 days, it took me to realize that I needed to remove myself from a toxic situation. And I decided to divorce my husband. And all four of us, me and my three children, have lived abroad for 7 years now. We have traveled the world. I have become more sound-minded. I have become more courageous, outspoken. I've just become the person that God ordained me to be. And I don't look back and regret any movement that I've made. I've met some of the most amazing Black women abroad, different than the girls that I grew up with, the women that I grew up with. It's a community that's there that surrounded me and my children. And I feel that my next step in life is just going to be amazing. So I'm just excited about my future. I'm excited because I made a decision to put myself first. Many of us don't do that. We put our children and our families first, but I put myself first. And with me putting myself first, even my children see a change in me, and they can appreciate and they respect my decision. And they encourage me every single day. And I'm just glad that I'm in this place at this moment.
So Dionne, you mentioned that you left Atlanta and moved abroad. So for a single, well, you end up being a single woman, but what was it like for you to make a decision like that when you're married and everything is here? You've been here all your life, and then to move not only to another state. So it's not like you moved to Chicago or moved to Alabama or some of those neighboring states like Florida, but you moved across the world. How were you able to make a decision like that when you've been in Atlanta and from Atlanta most of your life?
I can't put a finger on why I made that decision. I just feel that I was aware of my surroundings and my environment, and I knew that I needed to change those things around me so that I can change from within, change my thinking, change my way of life, change my entire path. I knew I had to surround myself around like-minded people and embrace that on a day-to-day basis for me to make a change in my situation. Moving abroad is something I've always wanted to do. I love to travel anyway. But when this hit me on my desk and gave me the opportunity to do my passion, which is education, and travel at the same time, it just encouraged me to move forward and try something new. I was supposed to only be there for 2 years. My contract was only a 2-year contract. But what I found in me and what I found in my children, that we were growing and flourishing and producing something that was amazing, living in his word and on his faith and, on his purpose. So I can't put a finger on why I decided to move. Actually, my son at the time was 10 years old. He brought it to my attention. He brought Dubai to my attention because he was learning Arabic in a private school here. And he brought that to my attention. So I just knew I needed a change. Atlanta is home for me. I love my city. I love the people in it, my friends, my family, but it doesn't make me. What made me who I was to step out of the norm, step out of my traditional reality into something new that will allow me to expand my life and expand my way of thinking.
So talking about the whole period of expansion, what were you experiencing in your younger years that was a transition for you to get into the educational field? Why did you not think that you could do it? And what situations were you in that was a challenge for you?
Well, I have a very loving family. Tiffany knows that. She's a part of my family, actually. She's a daughter. We made her a part of our family. I have a very supportive family. I was just making choices to be surrounded around people that wasn't doing the right thing and got caught up and made some poor choices. And then when I went through those things, I've always loved children. But when I went through those changes, it's, in life, there's a road. You can go the right way or you can go the wrong way. And when you go down that wrong path, you just continue going down that wrong path because it just seems like you got to jump one hurdle to get to the next hurdle to get to the next hurdle. And you just never make it to your goal. it took me surrounding myself around women that were doers and not talkers to see the motivation that they have in their life. People like Tiffany, seeing what their background was and seeing that they are also performing and producing and moving forward. And that's what I wanted to see. It took other Black women for me to say, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to be. This is my life. That's what I want. So, I tell people all the time, it's not a formula in making a change in your life. It takes three things. It takes courage, it takes self-awareness, and it takes self-efficacy. That's it. You cannot learn it in the classroom. You learn it through your life, and you learn it through your life challenges. And you are provided every day a choice to make. And it's up to you to make the right choice.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you made the right choice to be on this show this morning and to share and to share this information with the audience. Thank you so much for your bravery. Just amazing, amazing, amazing. So thank you. All right, I told y'all I had a full show for you. So let me go ahead and bring on this next queen. And I want to say that, just when you think you've survived your childhood and you've may have made some bad decisions in your early adult life, in which you then figure out, I got it right. I think I got it right. I think I'm on the right path, right, ladies? Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? You think like, finally, I can, kick my shoes off, unloose my bra strap. How many of y'all like to take your bra off when you get home? Just want to take your bra off and just sit back and have a glass of wine or do whatever it is you do, play with the children or whatever. But you think like, I'm good. Just when you think you're good, life continues to happen. So the next queen I have here in the cafe with me is Dr. Stephanie Merrick, who is an educator and a motivational speaker. She is a certified coach and trainer for SAS Consulting. That's her own company in which they help organizations and schools with team building and one-on-one coaching. So I've asked Stephanie to sit here with us in the cafe as well and to share with us her challenging experience when she thought she had it all together. So good morning, Stephanie, and welcome to the cafe.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning, everyone. I first want to commend Tiffany. Yeah, going through the storm and actually coming out of it, and you're going through another one. You're right. We're always constantly reinventing and reliving things that we are going to have a purpose in life. And also, Dionne, you're absolutely right. I can appreciate you being coming to make the decision for yourself. Be unapologetically about putting yourself first. I've gone through all those things. And like for me, I am a fifth generation female in my family on my mother's side. I just recently lost my grandmother several years ago, and that's now leaving us four. And with my grandmother, before she passed, one of the two things that she said to me, she wanted me to be happy, and she just wanted me to have a husband. And so those two things did happen. I got married. I actually was married. We got married before she passed. And so she was able to know that I was okay in that. And that was one of the things she wanted to make sure that I was taken care of. Back there in that generation, it was always about having a mate that took care of everything for you, and you just had to be that stay-home mom. And I have always been that person that just did not want to be a stay-home mom. I had a lot of things in my life that was burning for me to do and go out and see the world. And so when we talk about when life happens, we go through all those setbacks, and we go through being still in a moment, sometimes as Dionne refers to, just not knowing where to go in that fork in the road, if you're going to make a left or you're going to make that right. Well, for me, I went through all of that. Now, in this aftermath, I'm caught up, right? I've gone through all the schooling. I got the degree. that I wanted, which was the PhD, the ultimate thing. And then I got married before then with, as my grandmother wanted and wished for me. And then I came to this fork as well, Diane, as, oh my gosh, I've done all of this. And now it seems like things is blown up in my face. I'm facing a divorce that I didn't realize was coming. I didn't know that I was going to be faced with that. And then what I want to do professionally, I got this degree now. I have a PhD. What am I going to do with it? Yes, I'm an educator. I'm very passionate about teaching. I teach on college level, undergraduate and graduate, but it was just something more. But what I want to do with that was the question for me. And so I went back to thinking about God. I think about God, He's going to leave me now. I'm going through a divorce that I don't want.
So Stephanie is going through a divorce that she did not want, and we're going to hear more about Stephanie's story. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick pause for the call, and we're going to go ahead and take a quick pause for the calls and drop some information on y'all. Y'all hang out for our commercials, and we'll be right back.
Have you heard sponsorships are requested? Coffee Talk with Soy is looking for dynamic entrepreneurs like yourself. If you're motivated, energetic with a message or product, consider advertising with us. It's a win-win. For more information on those advertising and sponsorship packages, visit the website Coffee Talk with Soy or call me at 515-I-GOT-SOY. And again, that's 515-I-GOT-SOY.
All right. So before we took that quick commercial break, Stephanie was sharing with us how she left off at a place where she had just gotten married, and now she went through the marriage and was now experiencing a divorce that she didn't want to have. So Steph, share with us about what that was like for you.
Well, it was scary. It was at a point of, what do I do? This is all I know. This is where I've been. I thought things were fine. I didn't know that divorce was ever an option for me. So that became frightening. And for me, I had to, like I said, connect with God and figure out what's my next move. And not being fearful, I just brought in to bring him. I had to be brave and just step out and do what I needed to do. And then with that bravery, just breathing and relaxing a moment and resetting. And then I had to verbalize exactly what I want to do, speak it into existence. I know I needed to move forward. I got this PhD. I wanted to go travel and teach abroad. And so those are the things I started doing, just putting things in action to make that work for me. And then just being able to endure it all. And so bravery is what's keeping me moving forward and not turning back and just staying dedicated to the cause.
Okay, I can see that. So let me ask, let me circle back to Tiffany, who left off with sharing her childhood trauma that she experienced, and since then she's fought through that and has positioned herself in the place of where she solely desired to be. So Tiffany, share with the audience what your career path is, and share some insight on how you maneuvered through those stages.
Education. Number one, you can't do anything without it. And I know a lot of people go back and forth with, should kids go to college? What if my kid doesn't want to go to college? we underestimate and we underdefine the term education. When we speak of education, that just means becoming educated about something. And so I always tell students that I have come across, you don't have to go to a 4-year college, but you need to become very wise and educated in the field that you're interested in. So even if it's trade school, even if it's a 8-week course, and I don't even know if they have DeVry anymore, but they used to have all these other institutions that where you could go and become an office personnel or a dental hygienist or whatever the case may be. Education was a foundation. The great part about my childhood was my exposure, because I had those 13 years with my grandparents who gave me a very solid foundation. And they were go to school, make good grades, do something with yourself. And I heard that with them often. And they may not have had the fortitude to tell me what to exactly do, but they knew that I needed to go to school. So therefore, that always stuck with me throughout all of my transition. I moved out at like 16 and had my own apartment at 16. And all I knew is that I needed to go to school. I put my oldest child in a stroller and walked to the bus stop, and it was a neighbor who saw me walk to the bus stop every day with my son, and Mr. Brown offered to drive me to the daycare center. He dropped me off there on his way to work. So him and his wife arranged that where they would pick me up in the morning and they would drive me to the bus to the daycare center, and then from there I would catch the bus to school. My senior year of high school alone, I attended 4 different high schools, but at the end of the day, I made it out. And that afforded me the opportunity to know that I needed something better in my life. I enlisted in the military in 1995, and I never looked back. After doing my 4 years in the military, I wanted to complete my college education. I hold 4 degrees, an associate, a bachelor's, a master's, and an educational specialist degree, and I'm currently in school for the finale. I'm finishing up and never going back again. And with that, I found myself in education, working with our youth. At some point, I thought I was going to be this mad scientist and work at CDC, but my son kind of derailed that when he was injured in high school, and I left CDC to go work, be a stay-at-home mom for some time to tend to him. But then I found my love at education. Sometimes I tell people often that education found me. I started substitute teaching, and from there I have not looked back. And so there aren't too many I have not done. Everything from teaching and I am American, and reaches are great that could be just serving. So now I serve 170 schools with very diverse curriculum, helping them do the turnaround work, helping them to go.
Okay.
Passionate about it. Sometimes tell me to turn my phone off, or Mom, you checking out. Can you check in with us? Put the phone down. Because I love the work that I do. I love working with the students. I love educating our youth. And in my spare time, I guess I would say I'm some type of a mentor to others that may be looking for a career change.
Oh, you're a mentor. Yeah, you definitely are a mentor.
Stepping out on faith.
Dionne and I both said you definitely are a mentor. Yes.
Absolutely.
You definitely are a mentor. But you know what? But isn't that what sisterhood is really about? The whole bonding experience, and that's what I enjoy seeing and want to see more, especially about with African American women, because we're always pivoted to be, upset or coming at each other and judging each other, and as opposed to having a productive sisterhood where you still can address issues, you still can deal with complications and problems, but from a different perspective, more from a supportive way. you know, and not that you change your message, but you change your tone when you're speaking to each other.
Definitely. I
So,
would have to totally agree.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
What?
would have to say that that's very true. Changing your method, changing your message, but also changing your method and how you relate to others that's in your life and in your circle. You know, sisterhood is not always pretty. You do have fights, you do have quarrels, you have those things, but that's where the love come in. And you have to stay committed to one another and committed to
Yes.
yourself. And that's what I hear that Dr. Stephanie and soon to be Dr. Tiffany is saying. You know, commitment is major, and all too often this society has placed such stress on women to put everybody else first other than themselves. Everything is more important than themselves. But when you start tapping into your faith and tapping into who you truly are, that's when you start manifesting in your life.
And we also have to think about we as sisters coming together. Sometimes we have to lend our hand up, right? Sometimes we're not asking to give us anything, but just a hand up, and let's be helpful to each other. Because what you know will not take anything away from you helping me get to where you are. So we just got to be mindful that as a sisterhood, it's about helping each other, building each other up, empowering and encouraging one another.
And you know, and to do that, when you help other people, you really help yourself. You really grow beyond what you thought, and you learn so much. I know that being in the midst of other people, sharing their stories and doing what they do, it has taught me. I mean, I have so many lessons that's more valuable than money. You know, just over the experience that you gain with that. So I think that you gain a lot, you know, and with that skill, you can take it and make money, but you gain so much more life skill sets, better communication, listening skills, just become wise in so many areas by doing that. And I know with each of you in your profession, all of you in education. Tiffany's been an assistant, she's come up through the teacher realm and been an assistant principal and then a principal, and now she's doing some other things with countywide school systems. And Dionne has I love the fact that Dionne went to Dubai, and in her position there, she was helping to recruit other people of color to teach abroad. So just those methods that each of you have done and continue to kind of give back and develop people has been commendable. And I appreciate you being on this platform. So as we begin to bring our show to a close, and I hate that we have to go, but I would like to offer each of you an opportunity to say something in closing about how you feel about this topic or anything you want to share with the audience.
I don't want to sound cliche, but it's definitely true. Giving up is not an option. You fail when you fail to try. So, not just saying if I overcame, anyone can, but there are so many that have, not just me. And the key point to it all is they didn't give up. It's very hard for me to accept a no. And I know in reality there are some no's, but I'm that person. If you give me a no, I'm going to try to figure out any way to get around that no. I'm not accepting your no, especially when I know your no is intentional on depriving me of succeeding. That's when I will definitely find a way around your no. Just a quick story. I was in the pandemic. I purchased a car, but throughout that process, the bank told me no. The bank had no sound reason for my no. They actually told me at one point the no was because I didn't have another high dollar car of that value on my credit. And I wanted to know, where is that in your loan application process, that is a denial factor for me getting a car. So you're denying me a high dollar car because I don't have several high dollar cars on my credit. I have that high dollar car. I turned that no into a yes. That's a prime example of not accepting no's when they are intentional about keeping you from succeeding.
And I want to end on that note is just saying you are a product of your past. Your present represent the present. You represent the present, and the hope is for the future. I'll end on that. You are continuing building yourself every day. Every day is a new day and a new start. So never give up on yourself. Just stay hopeful.
Yeah, and I would just like to end on saying that be the engineer and the conductor of your life. Do not allow anyone else to drive that for you. Tap into your faith. I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. Tap into your faith.
Yes.
Be committed to what your journey is. And anyone that tried to deter you off your path, deny them entry. Deny that entry. Make those solid choices for your future. Know what your end goal is and always keep that in mind. I don't care if you have to post a quote every day, write it on your mirror, do an affirmation, do meditation, do yoga, whatever you need to tap into the soul of what you really want to be in this life and to be someone that can be an impact of change. Do those things to make sure that you are the driving force behind your overall goal.
Well, ladies, I thank you so much for hanging out here with me and the cafe. Coffee Talk with Soy is your new morning show, and we appreciate having you here this morning. So thank you so much for your time and sharing your life.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're awesome. You're awesome. All right, folks, don't forget to visit the website, coffeetalkwithsoy.com. Family here. Just come right on in, come on in, and unapologetically be you. Be you. I want to thank you all for listening. I thank my guests. I thank you. And please share. Please share this with women that you know, a cousin, a daughter, a niece, a neighbor, a coworker, a friend or a foe that may need to hear some inspiring words about how they too can work through their youth challenges, childhood challenges, and spiritual challenges, relationship challenges, so that they can then become the true person that they were desired to be. So for all of you ladies listening, we hope we've empowered you to be dedicated, determined, and different.
I just love this show, Coffee Talk with Soy. That is your new morning show where real talk happens every Saturday at 10 a.m. I'd like to thank the listeners and the guests for joining me in the cafe today. What a wonderful time we had. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Don't forget to download the app Coffee Talk with Soy from your app store. It's available on iTunes and Google Play. Stay connected, folks, by visiting the website, coffeetalkwithsoy.com, as well as looking for us under your social media sites. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the name Coffee Talk with Soy. Remember, the size of the problem is never the issue. Remember, it's the size of you. Be great because you are awesome. Tell them Soy said so. Thanks for listening. Have a great week. Bye-bye.